Hello my friends. So we're out here at the Goji Berry patch today and I'm getting ready to do a bit of pruning, take some cuttings. The goji berries, being a deciduous plant, lose all their leaves in the winter time. During dormancy is the best time to prune. And I found in the case of the goji that even if it starts leafing out, like you can see here, little leaves starting to emerge, it's still a wonderful time to prune. You're not too late if you see that. Goji will continue to root in a medium such as sand or potting mix, seed starting mix, very easily at any stage of its growth. Now you can see here, these goji plants are towering at this point. I've let them do this because there are many different ways to utilize this plant in a garden setting. And the larger your property is, the more options you're going to have. Now, something important to mention is that if you are trying to grow goji in your garden, grow it towards the center of your design, in full sun if you can. And the reason for that is they can spread out a little bit by way of runners. As you can see here, we've got a new plant starting to come out of the ground about a foot away from the mother plant. I've seen them pop up as many as 5 feet away, but it's really easy to just pull this out when they're young. Let me show you. So you can see where it broke off of the main root there. So if you are growing the goji in your managed garden design, you may have to pull a few of these up, but the beauty of this is that you can now turn all of this wood into new plants if you'd like. There's a lot of reasons why you might want to do that. Maybe you're looking to start a business and start selling goji plants yourself. Perhaps you're looking to create even more of a hedge around a certain area of your garden. I want to show you how I decided to grow these gojis. They're surrounding my chicken run, the fencing. And I started to do this because the fencing itself is only about 4 feet tall. It's weak fencing. But by growing the gojis right in front of it and using that fencing as a trellis, you can see I've got some bungees here holding stuff back off the pathway. I've now created this natural hedge, this natural fencing that can keep the chickens in the run if ever I need to put them in there for whatever reason and I don't want them to get out. This works wonderful. Or maybe you just want to grow more plants because they're delicious and nutritious and they're fun to grow. So there are several different pruning techniques that you can utilize, whether it be to maximize berry production or to maximize the hedge protection around a certain area. As you can see, I've gone with the latter at this point. If you are interested in seeing how to prune the goji for maximum berry production, check the links below. I'm going to put some of the video links to the other goji berry videos that I created. But today, I just want to show you once again how quick and easy it is to propagate this plant. In just a few years' time with some healthy plants, you can literally take thousands of cuttings off of just a few plants. So a good sharp pair of secateurs like the Felco 2 is what I recommend. This is going to cut right through the wood nice and clean. And all we're aiming to do, just like with many of the other cuttings, is to make sure that we have at least 5-6 nodes on each piece of wood that we take a cutting from. And it's even better if you can kind of target a length of about 5-6 inches. But even a small little piece of wood will propagate a new plant easily. So today for my cuttings, I'm going to be taking wood that's growing out towards the pathway that I don't want getting in my way. So I'm just going to prune everything back first. Now I'm not doing a full pruning video here today. I've already done that. Like I said, check the links below. What I'm doing is giving you basically the time frame, a reminder. This is important. Pruning in your garden is an important task, maybe the most important. It's really not to be overlooked and really to be appreciated. It's one of my favorite activities each year is to get out into the garden, do some pruning, some shaping, and it just helps to beautify the plants and produce the most abundant, healthy plants that you can. And really, I've mentioned this so many times, how the garden is an analogy for life. You know, we need pruning as well, right? So if you think of it that way, if we can prune ourselves through the grace of God by aiming to become better people, by taking away anything that doesn't contribute to our life for the greater good, but instead emphasize the things that we do that resonate well with us and the rest of the world and make you feel good, well, over time what you end up is this beautiful, shapely end product, whether it's a bush, a tree, or a human being. So when you're out in your garden and you're pruning, just remember, this is a natural part of the life cycle, and it's going to produce the healthiest plants and the healthiest humans. Now all you need is some simple sand to propagate the goji. Just as with many of the other plants that I've shown you, the easiest way to propagate is in the sand medium. Now this sand here, I've actually used several times to grow plants, so that's the beauty of it. You can regrow again and again. So we're going to take our cutting, and I'm just going to cut right above a node. That's going to be the top of this cutting. And on the bottom, I'm just going to make a fresh cut. Not as important exactly where it's at. So a little stick like that, just stick it in the sand and you're good to go. And I'll continue. Cut right above that node. And we've already got a fresh cut on the bottom, and we'll stick it in. Now the goji plant will produce some dead wood each year. And the way you can tell whether or not the wood is still alive that you pruned off is when you make your cut, and I know this isn't the best camera to show you this, but you should see some green live cambium layer in the cutting. If you don't see any, you can cut a little further up. But right here, there's no green in this cutting. This is dead wood, so this is not going to grow another plant. So we're just going to set that aside and find another piece of wood. And again, we've got another dead piece of wood there. Now obviously, if you see a little bit of new green growth occurring, that's going to be the obvious indicator that you've got some good wood. So here we've got some nice fresh wood, and it's showing some green to us. So we know we're good here. And once you've determined that a length of wood is live, you can just continue to make your cuttings without examining each piece. Now once you take your dormant cuttings, it's only going to be a few weeks before you start seeing a new flushing out of new green growth. Now it's ideal to use cuttings of wood that's no thicker than like a number 2 pencil. This is actually getting a little thick. And not too thin either, although they will propagate plants. But if you've got an abundance of it, there's really no point in you trying to propagate every little piece of wood. What you should really be aiming for is a piece of wood that's about half the diameter of a pencil, in my opinion. This is ideal. Now I'm going rather slow right now because I'm making a video and explaining what I'm doing, but you could literally fill a container like this in just a minute or two. You can fill several of these containers in just a few minutes and propagate dozens and dozens of plants, if not hundreds of plants, if that's your goal. I will be giving you updates on all the different cuttings that I'm taking, showing you the root development, and just proving to you how this stuff works, because I really want to empower everyone watching this to be able to take control of their garden and not have to spend a lot of money. And so some of the things I say may be repetitive, and that's because not everyone sees every video I make. A lot of my videos have first-time viewers. And so one of the things that I want to share with you today is, even if you live in a small place, or if you don't have a whole lot of disposable income to buy, let's say, 10 goji berry plants this year, you can buy just one. And in a couple years' time, you can take hundreds of cuttings off of that one plant. So you can get started today, even if you're in an apartment and all you have is a balcony, but you have plans and you're proclaiming victory in your life and that you're going to get that property that you're looking for in a short amount of time. You don't need to wait to get started on this stuff. You can actually get some plants, order them through the mail, go to your local nursery, whatever it is. You can get just one of each variety that you really like or that you're curious about and you want to grow more of. And you can start those in pots and put it out in your balcony even, just to get this process started. Patience is key, my friends, but once you get going, you start to see the abundance and you realize, wow, I can do this and it's not going to cost me all that much. Well, that's going to do it for today. I'm going to continue sticking some of these cuttings, and I just want to remind you that pruning is very important in the garden for creating a shapely, healthy, abundant plant, and it's also important for us humans to prune away the things that don't serve us and rather rebuild with things that offer us greatness. And what I encourage everyone to do is to maybe say a prayer today and to thank the Lord, thank God, in Jesus' name, for his abundance and everything that he's doing in the world right now, his hand moving across the entire world for the greater goodness to prevail. So with that, I want to thank you all for watching. Have yourself a great rest of the day. Until next time, this is Dan from plantabundance.com. Take care. I'll be talking to you again soon.